On this Good Friday, April the 10th, 2020, J.D. Walt wrote in his Seabed Daily Text email about this verse in the Passion narrative that we usually overlook. It's from Luke 23:49. But all those who knew him, including the women who would follow him from Galilee, stood at a distance watching these things. J.D. Walt notes that we're in a unique situation during this COVID pandemic, standing at a distance, watching. Today, I'm in my empty church, which has been empty for weeks, will be empty for weeks to come. We usually gather here, especially during Holy Week, to remember and then to celebrate. But instead, on this particular Good Friday, we are consigned to watching from our own separate places, the goings-on around us, the spiraling of the world in response to this pandemic. We're at home to protect others and able to see many of those we love. Watching from a distance is difficult. I'm sure that was true for these women. They had come all the way from Galilee, and then they had to just watch as Jesus was tortured. I'm sure they wanted to help. They wanted to do something to fix the situation, but they were consigned to watching from a distance. Now, there are some who are not watching from a distance, who are on the front lines. We're so grateful for those on our healthcare front lines and those who are doing things like feeding us from grocery stores and carry-out places. They, too, are watching, but from a very different perspective. And for many of them, they're seeing more than they care to see. Much like those women watching the tragedy of the cross, they're seeing death and suffering up close. I'm sure there are times they would rather turn their face away. Whether we're watching from a distance or from up close, we don't know what lies ahead. We're not sure how this is all going to turn out. We're not sure what the world will be like on the other side of this. But here's one thing that we can be sure of. On that Good Friday, on that day that Jesus hung on the cross, the world became dark, silent, from noon to 3. There was a strange pall over the world as Jesus suffered. And then at 3 o'clock, the very last words of Jesus on this earth as the human that he had become, as the God-man. These last words, when he cried out, as we hear from Luke 23:46, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. And then it tells us he breathed his last. Let this be the call of your heart today, to commit your spirit to the Father. With Jesus as our example, we can commit ourselves to Christ. Whatever comes, whatever is ahead. We cannot control the response of the world, but we can control our submission to God. Surely there are no sweeter words to the Father than to hear us submit ourselves to his will, than to trust that whatever lies ahead, we will do what he asks. And so I hope you can say with me today these words of Christ, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Amen.